Well, we're waiting for our illustrious president.
There she is.
Here I am. Hi.
There she is. Hey, Peggy.
Hi, Peggy. How's everybody?
Everybody.
Okay.
What's the temperature today in Laguna Woods?
Let's see. Hold on.
Like mid-70s.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
Okay.
day. Beautiful day. What's it like in Connecticut?
It's today it got up close to 80, but the humidity was relatively good. So, or yesterday it was 75 low humidity, and I said to Debbie, I said, and we were by the water. I said, this feels like Laguna Beach today.
What part of Connecticut, Fred?
In Westport. It's
Oh, Westport. Yeah, I know.
okay.
I'm from New York.
All right. What part? Where did you live in the city?
Well, one of the boroughs, Staten Island.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
it's I grew up in Queens. Well, the
Oh,
first
we
part of
had
my
an
childhood in Queens.
My father had an IHOP in Brooklyn, and I taught in Brooklyn.
Oh,
Ah,
public schools, or
PS 92.
I went to PS 179.
so it's 86. 86.
Hi, Peggy.
Hi, Ellie.
So good
Well,
to see you.
nice to see you. Well, Ellie's here, and it's 2:00. So let's get started. So welcome, Ellie Karimi. Ellie has a very interesting story. In fact, I recently finished her book, The Gifts from the Heart. Very good idea. But she wants this to be interactive. So
Marcia is going to introduce her, Peggy.
yeah, Marcia's going to introduce her, right? So you can put your questions in chat and maybe just raise your hand like we've done before. And so, Marcia, proceed.
Okay, thanks, Peggy. And I'm the secretary of the board of the publishing club. We now call it the PubClub, although, as I said earlier, this is not a drinking club. And I'd like to extend a special welcome to our visitors today, whom I know to hear, Ellie. We're getting an echo. Would all of you mind muting yourselves, not your face, just your voice, especially when Ellie starts to speak? I've known her for almost 6 years. We met in a writing class, and we've been in a film class together, and seen each other off and on for the past 6 years. And I'm very delighted that she's able to speak with us today. I think you'll find her story very, very interesting. Ellie was born in Iran, but she came to the US in 1970 to go to school. She went to the Michigan State University, where she got her bachelor's degree in psychology. Then she continued with her master's degree only at Western Michigan University, and followed that with her doctorate from the University of Maryland. So she's a very, very well-educated young lady. After she got her doctorate, she went back to Iran, and she taught for the National University of Iran. And there her 3 children were born. And then she returned to the US in 1984, bringing 3 little children and a husband, of course. Bijan, I believe, is with us today. Her kids were ages 5, 3, and 1, so it was quite a handful. And some friends of theirs sponsored Ellie and her family, and they lived in Houston. So the family went and lived in Houston. And there, until Ellie was able to get licensed in the US, she worked for a private psychiatrist in his private office. Then they came to California in 1988, where she started working for the Orange County Healthcare Agency. And until she retired, she was with them for 30 years, long time, as a clinical psychologist. And her specialty is substance abuse, chemical dependency. Now you're wondering, what's all this have to do with writing and for the publishing club? Well, she got ill, and as a form of self-therapy, she started writing. And that, if any of you have written, I think you will agree with me that writing, especially in a journal every day, can be very, very therapeutic. I've done it myself for 30 years, and I write at night, and it just kind of puts closure on my day. And I think that helped Ellie. And anyway, she taught she worked for the healthcare agency, but then also in the counseling centers of Golden West College, Orange Coast College, and Fullerton College, and then finally retired. Her special message is she has a well-known blog that's international in scope, and her special message has to do with transformational self-realization. I'm going to say that again. Transformational self-realization. She also writes in a series which is called Kaleidoscope Publications. And she's going to talk about her blog, how this came about, what it's all about, and also the Kaleidoscope publications that she writes for. Ellie has requested that we make this a very interactive session. She would like you to ask questions as they come up, but the best way to do it is just put your name in the chat, and Nancy Brown, who's our membership chair and treasurer, will pick up your name, and then at an appropriate time we'll interrupt Ellie and give her let you speak. But in the meantime, if you would keep yourselves muted, thank you very much. And I'm going to turn the afternoon over to Ellie. We're so glad to have you. So you're on, Ellie.
Hold on just 1 second.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Thank you. Thank
Just
you. Thank you.
Ellie will speak to about 3. From 3 to about 3:15, we'll talk about club stuff. So Ellie's speech will end about 3, but don't turn off, because we'll talk about club stuff Nancy needs to inform us about or get us up to date. Okay, go ahead, Ellie. Adelante. Go, Ellie.
Thank you. I like to thank Marcia and Peggy and Nancy and Sunshine, and send lots of love and healing energy for Sunshine. Hope she's feeling better, for making this opportunity for us to get together. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank everyone who's taking time from their busy life to spend an hour together. I'm really grateful. And I hope that your takeaway from this hour together would be something that will bring emotional healing and freedom for you. It's an honor to be in a group of writers. You are the shamans and healers. Storyteller. And I love to share my story. because I think everyone has a nice story to share. We look at our life, we all have something to share. So today I'd like to share with you a little bit about how I got started in writing and share a little bit about my journey. But my life is way too complicated to squeeze it into 1 hour. So I'm going to focus a little bit about the beginning of my journey and understanding the dynamics of the family of origin and the impact on young children. And if you would like, I would share a little bit about the blog. And as mentioned, the Kaleidoscope series have been self-published, and the recent book proposal, a collection of stories about my life that is called Scars Left Behind. It's basically a journey of transformation from childhood trauma to living with compassion. So I would love for you to guide me with your comments as what is more of interest to you. So hopefully we would have a wonderful experience in this short hour. So let me share about how I started writing. It was many, many, many moons ago, long time ago, when I was in therapy. And while I was sharing with my very loving, caring, and wise therapist, she invited me to write about my childhood experiences. And I felt a very strong resistance in doing that. I felt vulnerable. It felt like if I write it down, then someone can read it. The truth was that I was afraid of being vulnerable. Like most people, I sort of wanted to look good and that I was okay when I wasn't inside. So she said something that really was a life-altering experience for me. It was one of those aha moments that I will always keep with me. What she said was that, you can write it in Farsi, in your mother tongue, and bring it to the session and read it. And I found like, wow, she is offering me a gift of that child who didn't have a voice. She is guiding me to find that voice and bring it back. It's not for her. She wasn't going to understand a word of Farsi, but it was such a gift. And when I started writing, I couldn't stop. Once I experienced the healing power of the written word, it was pouring through me. And I went through maybe 100 boxes of Kleenex as I was writing. But my notebook and my pen, and I was writing by hand, which is really wonderful when we do emotional releasing. And the notebook and pen became my best friends. And I didn't have to wait for, let's say, Wednesday, 2:00 for an appointment to be able to share about my stories and life experiences. They were available anytime I wanted. And it became such a therapeutic tool for me that since then, it has become a very important part of my life and very important tool of managing trauma when it's triggered. So it was after I was done with the healing part that I started writing the stories. I thought these are interesting stories and I would like to share them with other people. And especially, I wanted for our children to read and understand how my growing up was, because I knew that they were directly impacted by my unresolved emotional issues. So I wanted to sort of give them heads up for their own healing and knowing what were some of the dynamics that I had dealt with. So it was the suggestion of our older son to put the stories on the blog. That was actually a gift, a birth, and people who don't know you, how do they respond to your stories? Have been sharing it with very safe circle of family and friends who love you. Let's see how other people respond to that. And that response has been amazing. Yes.
Ellie, it's Nancy. Fred has a question for you, and I know you had said that if someone puts a question in the
Sure.
chat that I should alert you. He wanted
Please.
to know at what age this experience happened, and I believe he was talking about when you decided that you needed to start writing. Is that right, Fred? Where are you? Yeah. You're muted, Fred.
When I
Yes, I was talking about exactly when you got this, great experience where your instructor or whatever told you to put it in Farsi. So now you felt comfortable to start writing. And when did all that happen? Thank you.
So when did that happen, Ellie?
It was 33 years ago when we came to California in October of 1987. And it was a turning point in my life, something that I'm really, really grateful for.
Great.
So I'd like to share a little bit about the story of my life. As I said, my life has been very complicated. I'd like to share a little bit about my mother and father. I have written a whole book for each one of them. So I would like to offer the, very basic, and you tell me how much you would like to hear from that. So once upon a time, there was a precious girl born into this very interesting family dynamics. So let me share a little bit about my mother. She is a survivor of childhood trauma. Shortly after she was born, the family lost the father, the primary breadwinner of the family. And my grandmother, a young woman of 30, was left with 5 children. My mother is in her mid-90s. She lives in a nursing home in Tehran. And my husband and I call her every morning like between 5:30 to 6 a.m. with the time difference, so we can catch her. So we are talking about almost a century ago in Iran that women had no opportunity to work and earn an income. So my grandmother, to this day, I don't know how she raised 5 children by herself as a single parent. So I know that my mother, as an infant, was more impacted than her sibling. Deep traumas in growing up. She was a child bride. She was in 6th grade when she was given as a bride. So basically, you can imagine that she didn't have any sense of herself, let alone knowing how to raise a child. I mean, in terms of emotional need of a child. So basically, she didn't have it to give it. My father, on the other hand, was older, and he was an army officer. He went to high school, a military high school, and by the time he finished the military school and became an officer, he was very much shaped as an army military person. And that's how he related to the family and to community and to the universe. And he expected obedience, as it is in the army. And he was a mechanical engineer, and he valued hard sciences. It was, education was very, very important to him. And that's how he was able to really pull himself from his family of origin. Some years later, he shared with me that he wanted to have a young wife so he could raise her the way he wanted. I appreciated his honesty of sharing that, yet I realized that this marriage was not really a union of a man and a woman coming together with love and raising a family with children. It was like he was the king, he was the god in the household. He had all the power and the decision making, and mom was more like an older child, sort of afraid as we were. So those dynamics are really important to identify in our family of origin, because we all have been impacted by those dynamics. How do we identify those, and how do we identify the impact on the young child? So this union happened. My mother shared with me that when they were engaged to be married, one time he went to kiss her and she ran away scared and said, "I'm going to tell my mother what you were going to do." And my heart really melted for her. And when they were married, she shared a few times that she would cry and say, "I want to go home. I want to go to my mother." And my father, being an army officer, said, "Your home is here with me. This is your home." So she got my when he was a teenage. For some reason, firstborn, according to my mom, for 9 months. Is there a question, Nancy?
Well, yeah, a couple of things. Your audio is going in and out. I don't.
Oh,
I don't know.
really?
Yeah, you're breaking up now and then. So I don't know what to do to tell you about that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I came to use the iPad because of that, because my computer is upstairs and our modem is downstairs. So
Well,
sometimes that happens.
yes, well, now when you just said that, it was very clear, but sometimes it goes in and out. So we'll just probably have to deal with it. But the question that was posed is, how many siblings do you have?
Great question. My brother he passed away, 5.5, 6 years older than me. And I have a younger sister, 12 years younger. So those dynamics are also very interesting. I'm actually writing a whole book about my brother. For those of you who had older siblings, the research shows that the impact of the siblings, especially older siblings, on the second child or siblings is much more potent, about 33%, than is the parents for 11%. That's because, when there are two children, they interact a lot. And it was really important in my life, understanding those dynamics, because my brother was a very challenging person, I guess because of the life experiences, and became very abusive to me. But that's another story for another time. I'm kind of like story in the story that shows up. But please let me know if you would like to know more about that. I will be happy to share that. So what I was saying was that infant cried for 9 months, which is very, very significant. So the mother was physically and emotionally exhausted. And I'm sure, looking back, that as a young mother, she felt inadequate, insecure, like she doesn't know how to soothe the baby. And my guess is that my father felt that the baby was the mother's department. I do not think that he was much involved in caring of my brother. I saw that Roxanne had a question. Would you like to stop for a moment? Oh,
Yes,
the age difference. My brother was 5.5 years older than me, and my sister was 12 years younger than me.
And how about the age difference between your parents?
My mother was 14 when they got married, and my father was 11 years older. So in his mid-20s.
Wow, Ellie, that's such a big difference because you're dealing with a child and you're dealing with a man. I mean, in today's world, that would not be correct. So can you say something about that? And then I'm sorry, you can go on with your story.
No. Thank you so much. What I can share is that culturally, it's hard for me to say how much is culture, how much is religion. It's very unfortunately common that older men marry children. To me, that's child abuse, regardless if it's common, practical common. My understanding of Islamic laws is that a man can have 4 legal wives and as many as they can afford, what they call temporary marriages. And wherever there is poverty, children get abused. And especially there is the gender-based, females are more at risk for being given as bride. Those are some of the realities that it's hard to talk about. Even talking about trauma makes everyone uncomfortable. It's like, it's hard to hear, can we not talk about it? And then there are severe traumas, girls, even 7 years old. I understand that in some countries, a girl of 9 is considered adult. And in many countries, still that is being practiced, that children, even 5-6-year-old children are, having like ceremonial things, given as a bride. Those are some of the things that really, really impacts me. And that's one of the very, very basic reasons that everything that I write about and my passion and my calling for sharing this writing is that I know, and it's not just in Iran or Middle East or some countries, it happens everywhere. The whole time that I was in clinical practice, about 40 years, I listened to the severe traumas that people with chemical dependency shared. That the pain was so deep and suffering was so much that taking something to numb the pain, even temporarily, seemed a very good idea compared to taking one's own life. And it was in the clinical setting that I realized when a person feels safe and cared for, even sharing the story can be so healing. I have seen people from being self-destructive, destructive to other people and property, to get clean and sober and blossom into beautiful souls. It's like the real soul of the person, once the alcohol and drug leaves the lifestyle, shows up.
Ellie?
Yes.
So Sandra says in ancient China, it was common that young girls were being given as brides. Sandra, where are you from?
I'm originally from China. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just stating a fact.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sandra. And China is not the only country.
No.
It is practiced in many other countries too. I have seen photo videos of a father holding a child, little girl, and taking her to the groom's home, and the child has no idea what's going on.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have heard that many such brides they die on their so-called wedding night because the body has not even developed for that kind of a relationship. And it's one of those things that when it's legal, when it's accepted, when it's common practice, as a woman, it's very painful for me. Would you share your experience in China, please?
Oh, that was many years ago, not for my generation. For my generation in China, women and men are equal. Yeah. And also it's illegal in modern China. I'm talking about, I was just echoing what you said about what happened to your grandmother and to your mother, to their generation. Yeah.
Well, and I think that Roxanne also had some comments. There's several comments that are directed to everyone, so you can see those in the chats. But you know, I think everyone is agreeing that you know, child brides brings a whole dynamic of challenges and feelings and so forth. And Ellie, could you comment on that?
About the concept of child bride?
Yes.
Like I was mentioning, my understanding is that with many cultures, it is such a common practice, and it's yeah, Joanne was asking, does it happen in India? Yes, yes, I have seen ceremonies of even 5-6-year-olds, you know, getting married, so to speak. And the thing is that these young girls, like I said, many of them are killed on their so-called wedding nights. And still it happens in many corners of the world. And I feel that there is so much room for awareness, for education, for educating men who feel that, you know, it's their right, it's okay, and bring understanding, education to the communities. That is my hope to happen.
What do you think the world?
I see William has his hand up. Is Bill would like to ask a question?
Well, one question that came to me is, can you talk about how your writing has helped you and how we might benefit from your experiences as a writer?
Thank you. Wonderful question. My whole life journey has been about healing from childhood trauma. So I have gone through what it feels like 100 years of therapy and have gone through very, very intensive 1-week workshops, very different activities. Anything that was available to me, I could afford it because life has always been busy with and family responsibilities. But the writing was something that was available anytime. Is that started about
And
Did
Ellie, Daya had a question. Daya, if you want to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just did. I just did
Okay.
because it was muted. I know. I think it is just so fascinating. But Ali is sharing, it's just wonderful. But at the same time, because you have so much experience of life and you, as you narrated from the childhood to now, that do you think that in your country, for example, have those customs or traditions or culture has changed some for better for the woman from child bride to a better possibility or opportunity for the woman, for the girls? Have you seen that in your life?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear very well the whole question. You are saying right now how it is
Yes,
in
I'm
Iran?
asking you because you have seen throughout your life different transition taking place, changes are taking place, I hope. Do you think that changes are taking place or it's just the impression we are getting, in your opinion? Have there been changes?
I don't know how much you know about the present government in Iran, that it's a religious government.
Yeah.
So when I was in Iran, what they say about separation of state and religion, now it is the same. So right now, very much the Islamic laws are being practiced. And again, my understanding is that in the world is considered adult.
Well, the reason I asked the question, because after 1947, when India received independence, then Hindu Code Bill was passed and the child bride was prohibited. And they were, if somebody would do, they were punishment, they were thrown in jail or something like that. So I was wondering that has there been some progress there, but obviously you answered that. I appreciate that.
And Ellie,
Thank you for
Scott had a question. And the rest of you, if you'd put your questions directed to me in the chat, then I can call on people.
Okay, sorry. I should go ahead and mute myself now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Nancy.
Yes.
I'm sorry. May I respond to the question that was asked about how writing helped me?
Yes, yes, definitely. And then we'll go to Scott.
Because I think that's really, really important. Because writing is something that almost anyone can do, and it's available and has such therapeutic value for me in my writing. And when I started writing and sharing my stories with other people, I mentioned that I have done that on the blog, and I have done that with the Kaleidoscope series. The responses from all over the world has been so amazing that I was just in awe that from over 150 countries, people have responded to these stories, which is a validation and affirmation for me that, you know, even though my life experiences may be unique, that I was born in Iran to a very unique family, but when it comes to feelings and emotions, it's universal. and everyone can relate to that. I can't tell you how many people have shared with me that it's like your story is exactly like my life was, and from very, very different ethnic groups. One person that I would like to share with you, her name is Ulrike. She's German, and through a dear friend of mine, she get connected with the blog. I have not met her in person. And once she started reading the stories on the blog, she started to translate them into German. She connected so much to my life experiences. And if anyone has done translation, you know it's a very time-consuming, alone kind of it needs a lot of passion to do that, like writing. And since then, the blog has been bilingual. And this woman has so much on her plate as a caregiver. But late at night when she has time for herself, she almost translates everything that is posted on the blog. And I have been doing the blog for 10 years. And after United States, Germany has the highest view because of her. And that is an affirmation where we grew up. We are all connected, and we understand that. We understand pain, we understand grief, and we understand the value of smiling.
And Ellie, Peggy had a question, as did Marcia, about your blog. And I'm going to screen share at this time and bring up your blog. And perhaps you can address how people can get onto your blog. And here, can you all see this now?
I can't.
What about Bill?
Okay, can you see this now?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Ellie, just tell me if you want me to scroll down, or tell us about the blog, and then I'll move it down.
The blog was a birthday gift from our older son and his wife in 2012. I didn't know anything about blogs. I had never been on a blog, and I didn't even know what. They told me, "Do you want to see your birthday gift?" And I said, "Yes." And said, "Let's go to the computer." And I thought, what kind of a gift is that is in the computer? And so we went to the computer, and I loved the logo. They chose the two fingers in love. And they showed me how to post on a blog. And within a couple hours, there were over 350 responses on that blog.
Oh.
And I was asking them, who are these people? It was some didn't know what I did. Press is a corner in internet that connects people who like to write and stories. Since then, if you go down, you see we have started in July 2012. And since then, I have been posting a variety of writing, whatever shows up in my life on the blog. And you would be amazed to know that over 147,000 people have visited this little blog.
Wow.
But how?
Which to me, I'm still in awe.
How?
This story, Love Lesson, is about my first crush when I was in second grade. I wonder if you remember liking someone for the first time in your life.
But how do we get on it?
How do you get to the blog?
Yes.
I thought the link was on the flyer. It's EK, my initial, with love, .wordpress.com. If you
Here
would
it is
like,
right here.
I can.
Okay. Got it. Got
All
it.
right. Yes.
Yeah, got it. Talk to us about your kaleidoscope also.
Thank you, Peggy, for mentioning that. Our son Omid is my coach as far as the management of blog and stuff is concerned. And what he advised me that people who go on the blog, they are looking for short writing, less than 1,000 words. And most of my stories were much longer than that. So the first kaleidoscope, I am deeply grateful to Dr. Mullen, was a professor of mine who took interest in my writing and showed me how to create a book. I had no idea how to make a book. And this is really the labor of his work. The first one was posted in April of 2016. And if you see the subtitle is called Everyone Has a Story to Tell. And once I learned how to create a book, then the books were coming one after another because I had been writing for over 33 years. This book, Scars My Mother, a lot of people relate to that because the mother, if the mother is the primary caregiver, has the most impact on us. And what happens when the mother, like my mother, really does not have it to give it? What happens to the child? What happens to the psyche of the child who is not nurtured for any reason? For any reason. So as you see, there are quite a few of them. And I have another scars about my father. And see the one that says Journey of an Iranian Woman. Those are ones about, and you see there is one in German that was translated by Ulrike Boker. And there are 2 volumes in Farsi. I'm grateful for dear friends who have translated them. The Journey of an Iranian Woman is about when I came to the United States in July of 1970. The Farsi version is available for Farsi speaking. The kaleidoscope gift of imagination is that 99% of my writing was about my own life. And I was always wondering about people who write fiction. I never thought I could write fiction. And then the universe brought the opportunity and that book was created. This Kaleidoscopio is in Spanish, and Diana Prez, who's with us today, is the one who translated that. I would love Diana to talk about it because she had not done that before, no translation before. And then through her effort and a team of other people who helped us, the Kaleidoscopio was manifested. And I cannot tell you how many of our Latino friends, Latina women have greatly appreciated that book because of having the same kind of experiences.
Now,
Diana, would you say something about the kaleidoscopio?
Diana, you're muted.
Oh, how about there?
Yes, you're good now.
Yeah, this is the, gosh, what could I say? This was a great opportunity for me to connect with other amazing people with the translations of this book. And Ellie was or is a great person to give purpose. And she gave me purpose with this book. And I want to thank you, Ellie, for getting me out of my comfort zone and helping me with my journey in actually writing myself my own stories. And she's a great inspiration for that. So I'm hoping, you know, after I retire, which is could be soon, I will dedicate a little bit more to writing and hopefully, you know, writing more in Spanish for, you know, more to reach more women or anybody who's interested in self-healing. So these books are not really for women. They're for everybody who's seeking to nurture the child within. And through Ellie, I've met many wonderful people. And I want to say thank you, Ellie, for being a part of this journey.
Ellie, talk to us about Hay House. Hay House.
About Hay House?
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up. I have joined the Hay House Publishing writers community, and it has been a great experience for me. You know, publishing industries is a business, and it's a tough business, and meeting the industry level requirement for someone like me, who's a storyteller, was really, really comfort zone. And it took a great deal of effort to do this proposal. I wanted to share with everyone that Hay House is offering a free workshop from June 20th to June 23rd. It's 1 hour a day, and they offer a lot of resources for people who are interested in writing and maybe think they have a book they want to write. I feel I was so inspired by the writing of Louise Hay. She was one of the people that reading about her life, like many other women who inspired me so much. It felt like if she can do it, maybe I can. And I feel that they are a publishing entity with a heart, that they publish books that are meaningful, that they are serving millions and millions of people as Louise Hay did. And they focus on is what they would call inspirational nonfiction, what we used to call memoirs or teaching memoirs. That's what I do. That, you know, basically looking at life with insight and awareness. And I would highly encourage people, it's free, to take this opportunity to sign up for it. If you don't know how, contact me and I'll be happy to send you the link, or just go to Hay House Writer Community online, and it starts on Monday, June 20th. Then I joined the Writer Community. They charge $199 for 1 year. And in that 1 year, You have access to everything that they have done, all their video trainings about how to write a proposal, and they have done a really good job. So I highly, highly recommend it. And if anyone has more questions about it, please feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to do that. I submitted the proposal on June 5th. There is a large community. I think there are 3,500 people in the community. And there is a monthly Zoom meeting that over 350 people participate. I don't know how many people have submitted their proposal, but I'm really delighted that I took the challenge. I know Scott Hayes is today here with us. He was the one who had the confidence in me when I didn't have it for myself, that you can do it and I'll help you. And I'm deeply grateful for people like Scott and Diana and friends who are here today, who have supported me through this journey. I would love if they choose my proposal so I can thank everyone on a bigger platform. So we'll see.
Nancy, did you notice that Scott Galasso has had his hand up for a long time? And then I'd like to say something afterwards.
Okay, well, let me just say that we've got about 6 people with questions and we are running out of time. I will go to Scott next, but we've only got about 5 more minutes. So go ahead, Scott. We can't hear you, Scott.
No sound.
No
If you
sound.
take the earphones off, it'll help. If you take them off, it'll help.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
Okay.
while he's fixing that, may I say something?
That's too bad.
May I say something?
Go
I've been reading Ellie's blog for several years, and she's absolutely correct that you find you have so much in common with so many of her stories, and it's just good to respond. I don't respond to everything, but more often than not, her stories give me great ideas of things to write about. And it's absolutely true. So I encourage people to look on her blog, and it's easy. The pieces are short. And the other thing is she does once in a while is to have other people that she's met who are writers submit pieces onto her blog, which is nice. I've even done it myself. And, you know, that's a very nice perk too. So thanks, Ellie.
So another question, Ellie, is how did you generate 300 plus views within a couple of hours on the blog going live?
That's a wonderful question. That's what I didn't know what I didn't know. That the possibility of internet connecting people, because I didn't know there were so many other people who do blogs and they look when something new comes up. They read it and they liked it. And I didn't even know that you can make comments and, you know, express how you liked it. And that I started, you know, posting every week. And my son promised me not to do more than once a week because he was helping me with until I learned how to do it. And this is a gift for 10 years. And he always helps me with the visuals, things that I don't know how to do. And I'm so grateful for my family. I want to thank my family and loved ones for really helping me along the way. Without them, none of these things could be here.
Thank you. And Ellie, I'd like to do a screen share once again to show people how they can get in touch with you. So this is kind of a dual purpose. Can you see the screen now with the flyer?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the PubClub website. And every month we put our monthly flyer right on the home page. And if you like what you've seen today and you are not a member, but you would like to become a member, the membership application is the second tab on the right side. I'm going to skip Village Stories for a moment, but I'll come back to that. Our members, that tab is where we feature each of our members, and you'll see Peggy and myself and Marcia and Scott are all on the PubClub board. And then if we scroll down, we see Ellie's picture. And to learn a little more about her, we simply click About Me, and then a little bio comes up about Ellie. Now, the blog that you saw earlier is right here. And so I click on that, and that's where we can go to the blog. Now, if you want to, and I apologize, Ellie, but I haven't tried this out, but it looks like if you want to respond, you enter your email address there. And where do you respond, Ellie?
Where, if you go back to how to follow the blog, this is like, if you would like to follow the blog, you put your email there, where it says, you know, your email, and then that's the way they protect the blog, that people, you know, won't just go or, you know, disturb the blog. Then you get an email on your email that you need to confirm. If you would like to follow the blog, then the WordPress automatically sends you the post when there is a new post.
Okay, great. And that's where you can ask your question then from that.
And if you go up a little bit, you see that in front of that, this story that was just posted, there is a little rectangle with number 3 on it.
Yeah.
If you click on that, it opens, and the reader can leave a message about the story or to me. And if you see, Ulrike has already translated this into German.
Wow.
This is one way of contacting me, and the other way is that you can email me. My email is simple. It's ellie.karimi@gmail.com.
Okay. Somebody does not have their screen muted. I'm sorry. What is that? What is your email again, Ellie?
It's my name, ellie.karimi@gmail.com.
Okay, I'll put that in the chat.
And all of it is lowercase.
Okay. Okay. So if I could have just an opportunity here, how do I get rid of this thing? Okay. Just to go back while I'm here at the website, just a couple of other things. We have the history of the club. We have a helpline, which is very important. We have past club presentations like this one that have been recorded. And if you click on that, a whole list of past meetings comes up. And so that's really great if there's a topic that you want to explore. publishing marketing documents. Anyway, you can read this. Our upcoming meeting next month is about log lines, tag lines, and elevator pitch. And that information also comes up. I don't know if can you see that right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've got two screens and I didn't know if it came up. Okay, so now if I can just jump back, and Ellie, bear with me for just 1 minute. Our club has a very important deadline coming up the end of this month. And if you were to click on the Village Stories link, you would see that for the past 7 years, this club has been publishing an anthology of stories, poems, essays from our members. And one of the people who is here today, Angela, who was our last speaker, submitted a story. So when you want to submit a story, you simply follow the guidelines that should be somewhere in here. I do the website and I should know where they are. But anyway, through the contact, well, if you want to send me your email or send it to the club email is pubclublw@gmail.com. And then I can send you all the specifications for our Village Stories. But the deadline for submission is the end of this month, just 15 more days. And then we finalize all the editing of the stories, and we put it to publication, and we hope to have it available for our members and for sale to the public at our Autumn Author Forum on October 19th. So we're madly trying to get that all completed.
Also, pictures.
There's so much more I could talk about, but
also pictures for the front and back cover.
Yes, yes. So if you see the Village Stories, you see that there's a photograph on the front cover here. There are also photographs for the back cover. And you're allowed to submit, Sunshine isn't here, but I think it's 2 entries for the photographs. And then they're all sent out to the membership and the members vote on them. And then that becomes the front and the back cover.
Deadline, June 30th.
Deadline, June 30th, exactly. Yes. And we also very much love to have we want to know about you. You are members. So you can see that we've got quite a number of members here. And so we've got a spot for you, our next Pub Club member. And I see some members here today that we don't have your bio and photo, and we'd love to know a little bit more about you. So I must be talking too much because I'm starting to cough. So Marcia, I'm gonna turn it back to you.
No, hold on a second. You've got to send us your taglines and log lines ASAP, because we're preparing our flyer, and our flyer for July will have your taglines or log lines. They're the same thing. It's a 1-sentence description of your book. For example, my La La Landia, how music saves the world. That's the log line. So send us your log lines so we can fill a flyer for our August meeting.
Peggy, would you also mention about the storytelling in September and have people volunteer? It's always a very fun event, which is September 21.
Yeah, September
Peggy,
21st.
Peggy, one more minute. I'm sorry. You said that the log lines and taglines was in August. It is actually in July.
July.
Yes.
I thought I said July. So send them right away.
Right.
We've got to prepare our flyer ASAP. So send your log lines or taglines. What's your book about? In one sentence, the name of your book and what it's about. Also, as Marcia mentioned, storytelling in September will be a Zoom. And we have 5 storytellers. We have room for at least 3 more, because if more than 3 sign up, I'll skip out. So if you'd like to be a storyteller in September, this is aired on Channel 6. You'll become famous for your story. So become a storyteller for September 21st. Let Sunshine know. She's our MC.
And then last but not least is the Autumn Author Forum in October.
Right.
This is an in-person event. And this is an opportunity for you to rent a table for the extravagant price of $15. And then you can sell your books at that event. Again, on our website, you can simply click on that link and the application comes up, fill it out, mail it to me, and we'll get you a table. I think we currently have about 16 people signed up for the Autumn Author Forum.
Promote and sell your books. It's a perfect opportunity. And the reason for the tagline or log line and elevator pitch to prepare you for October.
All right.
So, Marcia, if you
Well, I'd like to, I just have a blank screen here, but I'd like to thank Ellie for such an interesting presentation. I think we all learned something, and I would certainly encourage people to check out her blog for starters. And there are all kinds of great ideas on it, and certainly the Kaleidoscope series. And Ellie, thank you on behalf of the whole club for your wonderful talk today.
Exactly, Ellie. That was very impressive. And
I would like to hear more and more and more from Allie's blog, if I can.
Well, just get on to it because it's totally easy and it's so interesting.
We will.
Sounds wonderful.
And again, if you go onto our website, there are links to follow to get to her blog right on the members page.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great.
So,
Wonderful.
I just want to commend all the people or whoever's working on the website because I think I've seen real improvement in it, and I can see the work ethic you're putting in, and I think it's really paying off. So I just want to say that because I've done, as you know, from my guest speaking in December, I've done various marketing and publicity over time. And I think what you're doing here is really good. So I commend whoever has been working on
Thank you
that.
so much, Fred, because yours truly has assumed the role of webmaster in addition to treasurer and membership.
Yeah,
So if there is somebody in this group that has the skills and would like to be webmaster, I would be more than happy to train you. But you know, it's not an easy job, and we've worked really hard, and it's really been a community effort. So thank you for your kind comments. I do want to say a couple of other things. Fred also asked, are photos for the village stories restricted to Laguna Woods, or can we submit area photos from, for example, Laguna Beach? That's a good question. I think typically we've had Laguna Woods photos, but I don't have the history that Peggy does. And so maybe Peggy, you can answer that question.
well, they've all been Laguna Woods, but looking like at the covers of the concert series, something different might work, like art. Hey, submit it, see what people think. And also, Nancy, thank you. You're the webmaster. You're the one that's improved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Peggy, you're putting pressure on me because I don't have the flyer ready for next month, but I promise you it will be ready within a week.
Great. That's if you get the tagline.
Yes, that's right, because I really need that. And again, please send it to pubclublw@gmail.com. And the website is pubclublw.org.
Send it to who?
You could send it to the club email because I monitor that. So pubclublw@gmail.com. I'll put that in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Okay, you guys. Well, it looks like our time's up. So thank you, Ellie. It was a most enjoyable speech. We're all a lot smarter now. And see you next time, guys.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thanks again.
Okay.
Take care, everybody.
And I did just put both of those, the email and the club website in the chat. I apparently put an extra comma there, so no comma in the club website.
Okay.
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 Thank you, Ellie. Great presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Ellie.
so much.
Thank you.